If you correspond with Ralf on television, video, or telephone, audio, or you chat, text, or email him, you're giving him permission to duplicate it, rebroadcast it on any of the Take Your Life Back Today show broadcasts.
Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides to life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP.
Ralf Friedrichs, the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. This is a follow-up from the segment between confidence and arrogance. So the bigger the ego, the stronger the anger, and 5 ways to crush it. Do you ever get angry at angry people? You know, when someone flips you off at a parking lot for taking too long to park, or when the jerk on the freeway drives as if he owns the road and endangers the lives of all grandpas and grandmas and even younger people for the sake of his own need to speed. Steaming about angry people around us for a proverbial lunatics behind the wheel can superbly be annoying. One moment we are happily cruising along, and another one we are strangely competing with a person to go down the same road at the same speed, but this person feels that they own the road. Worst part, it happens automatically, doesn't it? It is as if someone hands us a rotten potato and we happily take it. But why do we take it? This form of anger springs from one source, being unaware about the workings of our own dear ego. You know, that ego which gets offended even when the joke is not directed at them. That little voice that snarkily says, "What you're looking at, you fool." Don't know about you, but when it comes to disturbing emotions, I no longer trust my brain's autopilot. The neurocircuitry established in my teens wired to respond to all perceived threats in some macho way. So I've been practicing a few mental shifts that are starting to bear positive results, and maybe you should as well. But first, a bit about my ego itself. What is ego? A standard definition of ego is the sense of I in any being. It is that which is constantly distinguishing self from others. It is intoxicating sense of self-importance that is constantly protecting and comparing one situation in a relationship to others, and comes up with stories in our heads like sleepless writer. Man, I know my butt is big, but that dude's butt must occupy the entire back seat of a car. There is a fascinating difference in views between Western and Eastern philosophy. In the West, we consider an ego to be enduring and conscious element that knows the experience. In the Eastern wisdom traditions, ego is considered to be merely a mind's quality, a trait, something that is inherent to a mind but not mind conscious itself. What does ego have to do with anger management? Well, unlike what your therapist might tell you, anger is not merely a fight or flight response to perceived threat. It's a noxious byproduct of ego. A strong sense of self and one's own wellness many times involves one doing many things that please me first. Feels a bit lonely, but real trouble starts when we start pleasing me at the expense of others, mainly either by choosing to be unaware of our surroundings or by simply exploiting the situation of others to gain benefit for ourselves. Kind of like tossing a hamburger wrapper through the window of a moving car so that it doesn't smell inside the car. It appears that the bigger the ego, the stronger the anger. The greater the arrogance, pride, to more violent the anger. The stronger the desire to be more consuming, the anger. The greater the greed, to sharper the anger. The stronger the jealousy, the more blinding the anger. I am sharing this with you because Western therapists and their methods do not address these simple truths. On the contrary, they are there to soothe the ego, pacify it, and take the edge off anger and superficially ways to just think happy thoughts. After all, almost all of our advice starts with an appeasing statement that anger is useful and it is normal. 5 techniques to crush ego-driven anger. So, how do you control anger when faced with disturbing people who drive like lunatics or pull on your sensitivity strings in any other way? Number 1 is, their anger is not your business. Remember, this angry attitude is springing from a deep-rooted self-importance, a big ego, an overinflated sense of itself. You don't need to teach them a lesson because life will. It always does. Life is very good at sticking a needle in every single balloon, or I should say ego balloon. Sooner or later, the balloon will burst into flames like a Hindenburg Zeppelin. And the bigger that ego, the harder they will fall. Adopt this attitude towards people who are clearly on an ego trip and take solace in the fact that all big egos burst eventually. It's just how things work in the universe, governed by the laws of cause and effect. Number 2 is, what's driving this madness? Consider the underlying aspect of an ego behind it. If the driver in front of you cuts you off and makes you angry, but use that particular moment as a prompt to analyze the situation. Is this driver in a hurry? Obviously, otherwise he wouldn't be driving like a lunatic, but what is the emotion that he or she is experiencing right now? Is it a desire to get home faster to see their dog or show on TV? Is it a pride that is making them think that they can drive faster and be better than any other person? Or perhaps, maybe, they truly have a legitimate excuse and are simply rushing home to tend to their sick child or their sick parent. It's always wise to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's just easier that way, and you don't second-guess everything. Number 3, people act the way they feel, and it is personal. It's very easy to overlook that many times irrational and angry behavior is not personal. A wonderful anger management technique is to simply remember that only in Hollywood actors act the way they want to. Most people act the way they feel. Let me just do something here. I want to get that up there so you guys get to see that. Number 4, a doctor doesn't kick her patient. One of the best advices I got was to view an angry person on an ego trip as a drunk, intoxicated, to the point where he was not himself. I mean, after all, do you get angry at a drunk who speaks gibberish? Do you get angry at an insane person who tries to offend you? If you are able to see the bigger picture, you may feel more detached from the situation emotionally. And number 5 would be, you don't have to live with it. Yes, of course, it's irritating when people are arrogant and lack mindfulness of others. But then again, you have to wonder what a variety of ugly predicaments they find themselves in with this character trait daily. We have to put up with this crap for a minute, but someone actually has to live with that 24/7. So my conclusion is, I always say that in order to stand a chance to achieve some personal growth, one must be brave in labeling things for what they are. Recognizing anger's many faces is one of the most important things that you can do to control it. By recognizing the poison one has been exposed to, one can apply the correct antidote. On the surface, anger has a limited amount of antidotes. However, the underlying emotion and attitude behind it will always have a more specific and effective antidote to apply. Find the undercurrents driving your own or other people's anger and apply correct reasoning to the situation to diffuse it. This is truly one of the most effective anger management techniques. A Buddhist teacher, his name was Thich Nhat Hanh, says, to love our enemy is impossible. The moment we understand our enemy, we feel compassion towards him, and he is no longer our enemy. It's up to you whether you can relate to this insight. Perhaps love is a bit far-fetched when someone just gave you the finger on the freeway. However, truly understanding what is driving that behavior of their finger, the owner of that finger, is a bit like drinking a nice cold bottle of Coke with your feet in a pool on a hot Texas day. It's still hot outside, but you feel cool and you feel refreshed on the inside. Give me a call at 844-405-HELP if you have any issues, ego issues, anger issues, and I'll help you, direct you to the proper people to get you help today, and may God bless you.
but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there. Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. I have read if you will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. just what you want. But he always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember,